Hey guys, Liz Marsland here, your personal trainer, massage therapist and yoga teacher. So as promised, I just wanted to drop you a little video for mobility. So I've given you the strength video already, and here's some stretches for areas of the body that often get tight with cycling or any sort of training actually. So your hips, your lower back, upper back and shoulders. Just take you through some exercises and stretches that hopefully will help you prevent injury, just relax and feel better and recover better. So stretching helps provide more blood flow and oxygen to areas, and especially around our discs and our back. That can be really important to feed those vertebrae and the discs. One thing that people don't realise that I just want to inform you about is when we're sort of sitting forward like this, as we do at work and on the bike, and then getting quite tight as well. That tension in the upper back just restricts our movement, and then our lower back has to take a little bit more of the movement, and that can cause some issues. So a nice way, simple way to help that whole issue is to make sure the upper back is nice and mobile and that your shoulders aren't too tight. So you want to always feel your pecs here and see if they're tight. If they are, you can do some shoulder rolls, stretching on the doorway, anything like that where you're opening these areas, and you'll probably often feel it going into the neck as well. And don't worry about stretching and holding those stretches for a long time. You can definitely be mobile. I prefer dynamic stretching. Gets the blood to the areas and, like I said, gives good oxygen and helps flush away the toxins and leftover bits and bobs in your body as well after training. So stretching definitely helps recovery. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with some hip openers. So what you can do, nice easy one, before or after training, is just sit back like this, open the chest, feet quite wide, let the knees drop internally, okay? So this is internal rotation, and the weight of the leg is just going to take the femur, the hip bone, top of the thigh, turn it round into the hip there, and just give it some mobility. Okay, so you can just feel that working. About 20 of those. Honestly, no effort, and just let the knee drop in internally, and that'll start to open up those hips and get some blood flow and release the back a little bit. Okay, so next one, you'll take your foot onto your knee like so, and you can see you've got an angle here and an angle there, so it kind of makes a W. And turn your upper body, so twist your hips at the hips there, to go over that front knee, and then reach over. And you can stretch that whole upper back as well. So just taking your whole body, just let your body weight take you down. Always breathe in when you're upright, and then exhale to get a deeper stretch, and then hold. And just let your hips and the weight of your body just help you get a deeper stretch each time. Okay, so if you want to hold that one, you can hold for about 1 minute each side. To get to the other side, guys, all you need to do is flip those legs over, and they should come into the exact same position on the other side. Okay, so we've got the foot on the knee, angle, turn the shoulders towards that front one, and then reach forwards. Big exhale, get nice and low. Okay, so that's a really good one, and the way we can make this one a bit more dynamic as well is to, from this position, bring the hips up. So just push up. You'll feel a nice stretch down that hip flexor there. This is an area that gets very tight in cyclists and office workers. You can twist into it, so you get a deeper stretch into the iliopsoas, and then you can open the arm as well, so you really lengthen that stretch. Sit back down, flip the legs over, and do the same thing. So you're reaching up. Keep tension there, so keep pushing those hips forwards. I'm just flipping the legs over, and you're welcome to use the floor whilst you do that. And then just sit up into this knee and push the hip forwards. We're opening up our hips, our adductors, so the inner thigh, even the sciatic area as well. You're twisting and opening it up, getting some blood flow in there. So great movement for the hips and to help support the lower back, guys. You can do about 20 of those. It's really nice to just see how this feels and to explore with your own body to see how mobile or immobile you are. Okay, so then reach up. This one's a simpler one for our hip flexor as well, and that deeper psoas muscle that comes and attaches almost by a diaphragm. Okay, so it's a really deep one. Don't worry if this feels very, very tight. It's completely normal for people who sit for a lot, at work. And you can see here this muscle will then be in the shortened position all the time. Okay, what we're doing is lengthening it up. Okay, so again, tuck the hips under, squeeze your bum, and just, you can rock back and forward in that, but keeping that tension, and obviously not arching into your back. So you're tucking the pelvis, but you're not arching your back. Make it a deeper stretch by lifting the arm. And you can come forward and back into it, and take that arm over your body slightly, so we're really lengthening up that whole area. Do about 15 to 20 pulses, and again, just explore with your body that first few times that you do this. Arm up. Just seeing how it feels. Great stuff. And then come into a nice wide leg position. So you can come into a frog, so your feet stay together, knees go out wide, and then from here, pushing backwards and forwards. Not the most glamorous stretch in the world, but very effective nonetheless. Okay, so when you come forwards, you'll be able to feel if one side is slightly tighter than the other side, or what is happening there in your own body. So really good to see, to understand what is happening in our body. Then when you come back, reach forwards. Child's pose for you guys that do yoga. So press your fingers gently into the floor, lengthen your fingers, and use that tension against the floor to help you lengthen down your spine. And just feel your inner thigh and your groin be opening up there. And one more from your tabletop position, guys. So you can have your knees just under your hips and your hands right under your shoulder. Don't worry if your knees are slightly wider than your hips, that's fine. And then you take one arm through there, so we call it threading the needle. And don't be afraid to just lean your head onto the mat, and then you can open the side as well. And we're working on that upper back mobility. You can feel a twist in your lower back. Okay. Don't worry on any of these positions. If you're a little bit stiff, if you don't feel like you can get any further, don't worry, you don't need to do this extra bit. You can put your hand here or just have it in front of you just to help support. So about 30-second hold, guys, and then you can use this arm to lift you up again and play. Thread the needle the other side, let your head drop to the side. Open that arm if it feels comfortable, if not, don't worry about it. Okay, that's great. Another one I love is the lizard, or I call it heaven and earth. So you're going to come into a nice long stride, so back knees up. Camera angles. Very live at home here. So that front foot comes forwards, and this one is supporting. Now my other arm is going to go inside that leg, and I'm going to reach my elbow down and then try and rotate to the sky. So it's heaven and earth. And each rotation, you can see if you can get a little bit further. Do 10 on one side. I'll just change sides to show you guys better. So I've got my back leg off the floor. These two are supporting. This arm comes inside that front leg, reach down. And again, if it's just here for you, don't worry at all. And if it's just there, that's absolutely fine. If you do this daily, you'll see what a difference it makes to your hips and your lower back and your shoulders. Okay, so 10 each side. And see how this foot is quite far forwards. I'm not here and then into my knee. We never want to have this position where we're leaning into our knees. Not great for the knee joint. So make sure that you have it quite far forwards, and then you can come up onto that back leg and then start with mobility there. Okay, brilliant. So these are just some simple stretches to get you started. 10 minutes a day, that's all it takes. I really hope it helps, and I hope you have some fantastic training rides.